What is going on, guys? Jason Burke here, Styles Clash for life, coming at you on YouTube, but tonight I've got some football focus. The Pittsburgh Steelers just finished their Week 2 matchup in the 2023 NFL season, a divisional home game on a Monday night against the Cleveland Browns, and it is what you would expect it to be. It was ugly, it was at times goofy and straight lunacy. It was weird, it was physical, there was a lot of injuries, there was a lot of hitting, there was a lot of back and forth. There were two very good defenses. There's a lot to discuss in this game. Oh my God, it's going to be quite a review. It is nearing midnight here. I'm tired. This game was stressful for many reasons. Let's break it down. Pittsburgh comes out on the very first play on defense. Cleveland gets the ball first. Deshaun Watson throws it. Minka kind of jumps the route. The receiver kind of tips the ball. Minka catches it. Somebody else hits Minka. The ball pops up into the hands of Alex Highsmith, who alertly catches it, runs down the sidelines, and scores a touchdown. That is the first play of the game. A Minka pick, which is then knocked out and tipped to an official pick by Alex Highsmith, who runs back for the pick six. Interception, touchdown, Highsmith starts the game. It doesn't get any easier from there. Cleveland comes down then, frustratingly, and gets a field goal on their first drive. And then Pittsburgh is going to field a punt inside like the 7-yard line. Gunnar Olszewski, the ball's going out of bounds. They kick the ball to, kickoff, not a punt. They kick the ball to us. Gunnar Olszewski goes to field it. It's going right out of bounds. It's going to touch right on the end line and bounce out of bounds, giving us the ball at the 40. Gunnar Olszewski runs up, fields it, toe taps to make sure that he catches the punt or the kick in bounds, and then steps out of bounds and tells the referee to throw a flag like the ball was out of bounds. Gunnar fielded it for no reason, made sure to tap his toes to make sure it was in bounds, and then told the ref to throw a flag. What? And that's just the start of the game. There was multiple fumbles. There was crazy injuries. There was so much going on here. First things first, I just want to say, hopefully get well soon. Nick Chubb, you are one of the best and most physical running backs in the game. You're a phenomenal talent. You never want to see anybody get hurt. Nick Chubb was trying to run inside the 10-yard line. He was trying to run in for a touchdown. Minka Fitzpatrick was coming in, diving in to make a low stop, and Minka hit Chubb right on his knee. It folded up under him. He was going over the pile with his knee kind of underneath him, and it pretty much looked like it snapped almost everything. The leg would have actually snapped in half had he not gotten it off the ground at the last second, but it looks very much like his season is over, and it looks like a very painful, nasty injury. As somebody with CP in my legs, I have cerebral palsy in my legs, to see a knee bend like that and a leg to contort in a way that it shouldn't is very scary. Thankfully, hopefully Nick Chubb's going to be okay. Just man, you're a baller. I want to see you back soon, brother. Please get healthy. Minka Fitzpatrick came back after that hit because he was hurt initially too, and then got hurt later in the game with a chest injury after something. We really don't know what it was. I think it was residual impact from that hit, but something else happened. So he went out for the rest of the game and did not return. We'll get back to reports on him. We don't have any yet as far as I'm recording this. At the end of the day, by the way, Pittsburgh Steelers did win this game 26-22, winning at home in the division, getting a division win and getting their record to 1-1, tying Cleveland's record at 1-1. Cincy is 0-2, Baltimore's 2-0. So we are right back in the thick of things as far as getting our first win of the season. Primetime division win feels good. 2 defensive touchdowns in this game, only 1 offensive, and then a failed 2-point conversion. Weird game. Let's get to some stats real quick. Pittsburgh, they kind of were going back and forth the whole night. Defensively, both sides played pretty well. Our defense had a lot of ups and downs, just like our offense did. We'll talk about it. Kenny Pickett's stats, 15 of 30, so 50%, not great. 222 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 pick. The touchdown was by far Kenny's best read of the day. George Pickens ran a nice little in cut. Kind of an in, almost like, not really a slant, but kind of an outside in. Got open in the middle of the field, caught the ball and ran all the way down the sideline, or down the middle of the field. I think it was like a 71-yard catch and run. Good read by Pickett there for the only offensive touchdown of the day. Cleveland then jumped off sides, just like we did at a different time when Cleveland scored. They went for 2 and got it. We went for 2 and did not get it on ours. But Kenny Pickett's interception was a bad pick. He just threw it. The guy jumped it. It was kind of like an underthrown ball. The guy jumped the route. He wasn't even looking for him. Kenny Pickett, again, is going to get a big minus again from me. I talked a lot about Pickett's negative sides last week and how he looked very jittery. He didn't look very stable on his feet. He was throwing behind. He was throwing late. He was just reading poorly and just making, not even as much as reading, but his throws were so bad. And this week was more of the same. I think, to me, Kenny Pickett has reverted back to how he looked in his first few starts last season. We have the tale of two seasons last year when Pittsburgh started off, 2-6 or whatever, and then finished 7-2. Pickett going 7-1 in his last 8 starts. This looked like the first 8 starts of the season for Kenny Pickett. He has looked really, really bad in these first 2 weeks. Just missing guys like crazy. And again, part of that is repetitive play calling. A much bigger part of that is that the offensive line has been so bad. Guys are getting pushed back in the backfield. Now, granted, you're going against Nick Bosa last week and Myles Garrett this week, so of course you're going to have pressure. But our line has looked so bad. And again, I don't want that to become the root of all evil here, but it does affect everything. It affects the play calling and makes it more conservative. It makes Pickett unable to make his reads and have to run around too much. And it takes the run game away, which it did for at least the first half of this game. Second half did start to get a little better in the offensive department, but only for a drive or two. It really wasn't sustained. We got 2 field goals out of this and 1 touchdown all night long. And without the defense scoring 2 touchdowns, we wouldn't have won this game. So big problems here. Offensive play calling, horrendous. Kenny Pickett has been horrendous. This offensive line has been horrendous. And then because of those things, I think the running game has suffered a bit as well. Pickett's 1 pick was horrible. He actually had 2 other ones that should have gotten picked. One was another, just like a really bad read, going toward the sideline. Guy should have picked it. Another one, he was running toward the sideline and should have thrown away, tried to force the ball back inside across his body to Najee Harris, who was double covered, and the guy dropped it. So Pickett had 1 pick and should have had 3 here. I don't like his night at all. Like I said, he did make the 1 great throw to Pickens, which was wide open, but he made the right read. And then a couple other ones that Pickens later he did make. But, he really in this game had like 3 good throws, all to George Pickens. And other than that, nothing to be proud of. Nothing at all. Pickett looks really bad. And after 2 games like this, it's time to address the line and the quarterback here, for sure. We'll get to that more. The 2 running back stats, Najee Harris, 10 carries, 43 yards. Again, it looks better than it actually was. The bulk of this, like 33 of the 43 came on 2 runs. Najee had a really nice 22-yard run where he broke to the outside, broke a tackle, and ran for 22, and then broke another one where he was stuffed on one side of the field, stayed on his feet, and ran around to the other side of the field and got a nice 11-yard run. So, about 33 of the 43 was on 2 carries. The other 8 carries went for 10 yards. So not much to speak of, but 2 back-to-back carries. They were excellent. Najee's not, people get on Najee for his lack of effort. I don't think it's an effort thing. I think it's just this line, and just Najee needs more help. Jaylen Warren's much more explosive. Only had 6 carries for 20 yards rushing, but receiving had 4 catches for 66 yards here, which made him the second leading receiver by far on this team tonight. That's a problem. But Jaylen overall, 10 touches for 86 yards. That feels pretty good. Jaylen Warren does look more explosive. He is breaking more tackles. He's a very good open field guy. He's a good bailout guy. Kenny Pickett threw to him 2 or 3 times on 3rd and 15, 3rd and 16. Again, penalties are a problem for us. But Jaylen Warren has taken these 3rd and 16s, and he's taken little 2-yard screens and turning them into 14, 15-yard plays. Warren one time on his own broke 3 tackles to get a 3rd down conversion. Warren is fighting his butt off out there, and he needs more touches. He's been far more effective than Najee Harris, even with the bad offensive line. So is Najee also someone to talk about in this as a negative? Possibly. George Pickens was the standout receiver, 4 catches, 127 yards, and that long touchdown. 71 of the 127 came in 1 play, but he did get himself open on 3 very nice plays. The 4th catch was a tough one. The 3 in the middle of the field, he was finding a lot of success in, shaking the guy on the outside and getting open in the middle. Very nice. Caught a hook route as well that he broke a tackle and ran for. So pretty good night for George Pickens. I wish he got more targets. He's not nearly involved enough. We didn't go deep to him at all. His only deep play was a 15-yarder in the middle of the field. Got to take more shots with him. Give this guy more of a chance, especially considering that Deontay Johnson is out now on IR for at least the next 4 weeks, if not longer. We need Pickens to be the star that he should be, and he played like it at certain times in this game. Deserves more touches. Some negatives for this offense. Offensive line, like I said, Chukso Okorafor had 2 more penalties tonight, which really stalled drives, especially for a bad offense like ours. Chukso Okorafor needs out of there immediately. Chooks is so bad. So bad tonight. 2 penalties. Also got Pickett almost hurt. I think he was the one that got Pickett killed on that play to George Pickens that went to the end zone. Pickett was holding his chest or his clavicle or something. He was holding his chest. Came back in. He was fine. But got nailed and got really hurt for a few seconds there. Made us all hold our breath. He also got beat on another sack play later on in the game. So Chooks, not his best night, maybe one of his worst. Dan Moore, not much better. He got Pickett blown up several times as well. Again, he was facing Myles Garrett, so I'm not going to complain too much there. But he got beat in both the pass game and in the run game several times where guys were getting knocked back into the backfield. I did not like his night. I really believed, and here's where I was most wrong so far this offseason. I believe between Daniels and Cole last season, between trading up to draft Broderick Jones in the first round, between getting Sayamalu, between adding guys like Herbig for depth, all these guys we got in the offensive line these last 2 years and so much extra help this offseason hasn't done anything. By the way, Dan Moore and Chooks, those guys are our tackles, right? We traded up in the first round to draft a tackle, right? A freakish athlete who's a ginormous man. I understand he's a rookie, and I understand he hasn't looked as good as we expected him to in preseason. We traded up in the first round to draft this guy, and our 2 tackles stink on frickin' ice. Get him out there. Play him. Where are your rookies? Why are your rookies not playing enough? We'll touch on that more. But yes, offensive line as a whole, Mason Cole didn't play great tonight. Sayamalu so far has not been as good as I had hoped. These last 2 games, and the two tackles absolutely stink. Fix it. Gunnar Olszewski. I already talked about his big bonehead play, right? The ball's going out of bounds, giving us the ball at the 40-yard line. He runs up at like the 7-yard line, fields it, toe taps, and complains. Comes back out 2 series later, catches his first catch of the game, only catch of the game, catches it, fumbles it, turnover. So he touches the ball twice. Once is fielding the ball inside the 7 like an idiot, and the second time is fumbling. Gunnar Olszewski only got out there because Anthony McFarland, our usual return guy, is now on IR for the next 4 weeks. Sudden, unexpected injury. Gunnar gets a chance, 2 touches, absolutely shits the bed. Get him out of here. He got hurt in this game. Don't want to see him get hurt. I hope he's healthy. Don't want to see him get hurt. Don't want to see him on the field either. Get out of here. Horrible. Matt Canada, you know what you are. You know what you are at this point. This offense is putrid. This game, more so even than last week, even though Pittsburgh was in the game the whole game, this offense is hard to watch. I've been a fan for 30-something years. This offense is hard to watch, and it has been every game since you took over as offensive coordinator. The crowd in the fourth quarter was chanting, "Fire Canada. Fire Canada." Not talking about the Wildfires, talking about Matt Canada. Fire him already. Make a move. I don't care if we're 1-1 in week 3. Make a move. Good Lord. Defensively, lots of good things going on here, but not consistently. Big positive, Alex Highsmith, what a game. Gets that opening pick 6 where he gets the tip ball for the interception, runs it back for the touchdown. Later on in the game, he gets a sack and a forced fumble on the quarterback on Deshaun Watson around the edge. Beautiful sack, nice hit. Sack and forced fumble, which TJ Watt picks up for a touchdown. So scores 1 touchdown of his own and helps out on another touchdown. What a stat line. Pick 6, sack, forced fumble. TJ Watt playing 1-on-11 a lot of times by himself out there. What a man among boys. Gets another sack tonight, which puts him as the all-time Steelers sack leader. Congratulations, TJ Watt. You're one of the best we've ever had. TJ Watt gets another sack. Also gets a batted ball, which he's getting better and better at. Love to see that. Disrupting plays. Also gets the fumble recovery for the touchdown, which put us ahead 26-22, in which the Steelers won the game. So TJ, major positive. I like what I saw tonight from Larry Ogunjobi. He got a sack tonight. He got several pressures, and he got 2 tackles in the run game. Best game for Larry Ogunjobi in a while. Good to see that as well. Positive Larry Ogunjobi. Other sacks tonight. Pittsburgh got a bunch. We got 3 more. DeMarvin Leal got 1, getting the start tonight for Cam Hayward. Marcus Golden got 1 in relief as the 3rd outside linebacker, and Elijah Riley, who came in, got a sack tonight. Elijah Riley did miss 2 tackles. One was a nice pressure, which caused the throw out of bounds, but he missed the sack. And another one, he missed a tackle on a long run play that should have been a -4 that turned into a +10. So a couple missed tackles for Riley, but he did get the sack there. Defensively, again, lots of sacks. We got some forced fumbles. We were doing some good things. We get some interceptions, some touchdowns. The defense played well, especially in the second half, really buckling down with pressure. Much, much better than last week. Gave us some signs of old, but we had a hard time, up until Nick Chubb got injured, we had a hard time tackling the running backs in this game. Really hard time. Also, hard time covering some of the receivers, too. Our corners have not played well by and large at all this year. I have not liked what I've seen from these corners this year, nor have I liked what I've seen from the front seven outside of the two outside linebackers. Outside of TJ and Highsmith, we're not getting enough pressure on the quarterbacks, and we're definitely not getting up front in the run game. I don't know what's going on here. Nick Chubb ran all over us till he got hurt, and the backup guy, Ford, ran for a 70-yard play that was going to be a touchdown if he wasn't tracked down all the way across the field by Minkah Fitzpatrick, who got him down at the 1. Last week, we got a 70-yard touchdown run by McCaffrey. This week, the backup Cleveland Brown guy got a 70-yard run that was down at the 1, which he ran in the next play, 2 plays later, whatever it was. You can't be allowing that. We have to tackle better. Our tackling stinks. We got problems on defense. Patrick Peterson, big minus tonight. I gave him kind of a plus and minus last week because he got a few good deflections, but he also got beat. This week he got beat again several times. He was getting beat. I don't like what I'm seeing out of Patrick Peterson this year. I really don't. He's been holding a lot, and he's been getting beat. And he's been getting beat while he's holding. So he's physical, but he's getting the ball caught on him, and he's still committing penalties. I have not liked, by and large, his first 2 games. Last week's he had more positive. This week it was mostly all negative. Biggest negative for me right now on defense, Levi Wallace. What is he doing, man? He got beat like crazy by Amari Cooper. Cooper got 4 third-down conversions, one of which was really good coverage for Wallace. The other 3, Cooper just beat him. Once he was beaten by Elijah Moore on a sideline play where he didn't get down fast enough. The other 2 or 3, Cooper just beat him on comeback routes, just flat out beat him. He also was the reason for the 70-yard touchdown. He was the backside help that was supposed to close the gap on the backside to avoid the cutback for Ford, the backup running back. Backup running back catches him out of position, goes for 70 yards. He also had a pick in his hands, a walk-in pick. Deshaun Watson overthrew the guy by 10 yards. Wallace was by himself in the end zone, looking to pick the ball, drops it, completely drops it. What a horrible game for Levi Wallace. Put JPJ out there. Joey Porter, where are the rookies? Second time tonight. No Broderick Jones, no JPJ. Porter was out there, I saw on 2 plays he got targeted on. Both times he knocked the ball down. Once on 3rd down, he knocked the ball out of the guy's hand with a good pass deflection. Second time he gets off the field at the end of the game. A little bit of a hold. We're going to let that go. JPJ has looked good out there in his small time. I understand he's a rookie, but Peterson has been very disappointing, and Wallace has looked flat out putrid to us. In this. Also, where are our front guys? Where, Landon Roberts made 1 really nice goal line stand with a big hit. Where else has he been? Cole Holcomb made 2 really nice tackles back-to-back on 2 good plays. Other than those 2, where's Cole Holcomb been? Quan Alexander had 8 tackles today. He's around the ball, but he's not making any splash plays. He's not getting himself free. The defensive tackle, Montravis Adams didn't play bad tonight, but he was inconsistent. Why isn't Keanu Benton getting in there? When he gets in there, he makes plays. Guys like Benton, guys like Broderick, guys like Joey Porter, they were drafted high. They were traded up for. They were drafted high. They are pedigree guys, and the guys in their spots ahead of them aren't playing that great. Put those rookies in. Negatives, Sling, big minus for me. I pay like $45 to $50 a month for Sling, and it kept cutting out in the 4th quarter. If I'm going to pay for something, it better freaking work. ESPN, big minus. If you're going to have the Steeler game on ESPN 3 or ESPN on ABC, whatever the hell you want to call it, don't keep showing us the other football game in split screen that's on ESPN and ESPN 2. If I wanted to watch that, there's 2 channels to watch it on. Stop putting that on. Special teams, Chris Boswell, 2 for 2. Nice night for him. 1 was a 50-plus yarder. Presley Harvin, big positive. One of the whole best guys on the entire field tonight. 7 punts, 319 yards, a 45.6 per punt average, and 4 of those punts inside the 20. He had a baller game. He was putting these guys at the 3-yard line routinely. 2 of them hit the side and dribbled out of bounds. Another one was almost saved and turned into a touchback. Presley Harvin, major positive. You bounced back like a boss tonight. Good stuff for Presley Harvin. So yeah, Pittsburgh scores 2 defensive touchdowns, gets more pressures, gets more sacks, plays a lot better in the second half, scores a couple times, and wins us the game 26-22. But there are a lot of questions. Tackling, the running back, staying in your gaps, starting corners, and then offensively, Pickett, the line, Canada, better run game, more receivers besides Pickens. What do you guys think? Tell me in the comments below. It's midnight. I'm going to sleep. I'm putting this up. I want to hear from you guys, though. Please give me your positives and negatives on this game, and I will talk to you guys again soon for next week's Steeler game as we are 1-1. Take care and have a good night.